Hello everyone, glad you can make it back. I'm Maximum Dad, and here we're starting episode 2 of our Let's Play series of Surviving Mars. The game where you create a colony on Mars and try to survive. So, last episode we set up our little base here. We got our fuel going. We're starting to slowly refuel our rocket to send it back to Earth so we could get more stuff. We're not ready for colonists just quite yet. We're still researching and we're still discovering what's all around us. I queued up a few more sectors to scan, search for more surface metal that we can gather before we're ready to make our big push for colonists. And also I changed around, or I got rid of some of the technology queue as well, because we're going to discover this fairly quickly. I was kind of thinking maybe I want to do this for the colonists to have a 50% chance to lose a flaw on their journey to Mars. Now, with your first rocket, you want to be fairly picky, but sometimes if you want a certain type of colonist, sometimes they don't offer you a whole lot and you got to take what you're given. So this might actually be a good one. And since we have that 30% bonus to discovering breakthroughs, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that next once we have 300 research coming in per day. Next thing I want to do after that is I want my engineers and geologists to have a 10% performance boost when working in their specialty. So what will happen is if your colonists are assigned a specific class, like there's scientists, engineers, geologists, medics, security guards, and then no specialization, which are just basic people. If a person, like say a geologist, is working in something other than a geologist job or a no specialization job, they will suffer a 50-point reduction in their work performance. So I think 100 is like the baseline. So right off the bat, if a geologist works in a geologist job, they're going to be doing 110 performance, which is great. If they take an engineer's job for whatever reason, that knocks it down to 50. So they're half as productive in a job other than a geologist job or a no specialization. So the little boost right off the bat should help as well. And then I wanted to do water reclamation because I don't usually build this in the early game, but I'm thinking if we get a farm going, we might want that. But again, we haven't researched farms yet, so maybe we'll get there. But in order to discover these techs without the anomaly, you got to research the previous techs in that tree. So in order to discover any other ones, I figured I'd discover this one because I don't really use the fungal farms. Because usually I've gotten the farm technology before I've had a chance to even put a farm in. So, but we'll do that, and then we'll leave it there for now and see what comes up after that. So we'll do that, and so yeah, we'll get it going.
Sector scanned.
We're discovering some sectors, and then we got a dust storm coming in about 2 hours, 1 hour now. So what's going to happen is the screen's going to get all dusty, and this moisture evaporator is going to stop working because it draws in moisture from the air, and if there's a dust storm going on, well, it doesn't want to draw in the dust, so it'll stop working. We won't get any fuel going. But that's kind of why we saved up our stored water. So the fuel refinery should use that up. So we're still producing fuel, so we can get this rocket going back to Earth as soon as we can. And see, here's building's not working. Ooh, it's electrostatic dust storm. Yeah, see, we got some lightning. So one thing you got to be careful of is your fuel depots. During an electrostatic dust storm or even a meteor, if a meteor or lightning strike hits your fuel depot, what I'm going to do is, here's a universal depot, right? It's got 30, it can hold up to 30 of every single resource. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the advanced resources down here. You can click anywhere in this box. I'm going to click right here, and it gives you an option to turn off which one you want. I do not want fuel stored here. I want fuel stored in its separate fuel depot, because if something happens, everything's going to blow up in a short radius. So if I had any fuel stored in the Universal Depot, along with any other resources, and the fuel gets hit, it's going to blow up that entire thing and I'm going to lose all my resources. So I don't want that to happen. I don't know if this is far enough away from anything else. And I think it's just the depot that's going to get destroyed itself, like anything surrounding it, which is why if fuel's in here, the whole depot gets destroyed. But if there's another depot over here, I don't think it gets touched. But I'm not terribly sure about that, and I'm not going to take the chance. At least not in this Let's Play. So, yeah, it's still reminding me that this evaporator's not working. Yes, I know. Thank you. And we're still working on scanning, so we got these two. And so that's going to be about it. I think I want to stay in this bottom right quadrant, at least for the time being. But scanning doesn't take much. It does it automatically. So we just got to hope for discovering more anomalies. And I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but... Yeah, so... Another thing, too, during a dust storm, it kind of blocks out the sun. So now your solar panels, they don't give you as much power. Usually the large ones, I think, give you 5 per hour. 5 power per hour. But see, now it's producing 3 power less than the optimal output due to the dust storm. So... We're only producing 8 power, but our total demand is 10. But we've got enough stored that we should be all right. And now we have a meteor storm going on. So I'm going to scroll all the way out. Where are the meteors coming down? No, it starts in 1 day. Okay, so we got a day. All right, another anomaly. We got some metal. We got more water. But again, these are all lower deposits. It's all 9,000, 10,000. I was kind of hoping for like a 25K deposit, but okay. So now we've just effectively tripled our research. And this is a pretty good technology to have early, just because everything's going to happen 25% faster, because your drones and rovers are basically the backbone of your workforce, at least before you have any colonists come down. So, you know what? I think I'm going to have this come next after space rehabilitation. So if you want to move something up to the top of your queue, you control and click it. So, but I want this breakthrough first. No, I want this first. And then the breakthrough. Just, trying to optimize as much as I can. Now we've got 2 buildings working. This one, and what's the other one? Oh, so this building got hit by lightning and stopped working, but it will resume work in several hours. That's the good thing about these sensor towers not requiring any maintenance or power. Is I think they cost. They usually cost like electronics in maintenance. So if this got hit by lightning, then I'd have to spend 1 full electronic unit of electronics to fix it, which in the early game, if you're using up electronics, not good. But this one will come back online after a while, which will be fine. And one thing you may be asking me is, Dad, why not do wind power turbines? Well, most of the time... Oh.
It was because of the greenish-yellow hue of the beryl crystals.
Oh, nice. So we just got a 10% boost to all the technologies in the physics tree, which is actually great, especially at this point in the game. So now, instead of 1,500, these now cost 1,350. Which, again, these aren't the best techs ever, but at least it'll affect the entire branch. So that's a good one to have. But we're just gonna keep on keeping on. Maybe I might want to do. No, I can always do that at a later time. I don't need to set it right now. No, that's not where the anomaly was. It was over here. Another anomaly. Ooh, okay. But do I want to use that on the low G drive? No, I don't think it's important enough to use it on. So I'm gonna save that for later. I'm gonna put that in our back pocket and bring the rover back here so it can charge. Got about 11 more hours of the dust storm. Again, it didn't affect us too much. We had enough water in storage. Now we're getting lower, though. See, it just 100 fuel to refuel. Quite a bit. Where's my RC rover? Okay, so here's my RC rover. So I think I wanted to get this polymer over here. So I'll put a polymer depot right down there. There's more metal over here. That's good. I'll let the drones out so they can do their thing. Well, only one will be because there's only one polymer. So we'll collect that. And bring it down to the depot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the rover here. And then I'm going to delete this. So now these should automatically bring these polymers. No? Well, they are in range of the shuttle, so it's not that... Oh, so here they come. I'm going to put a waste rock depot right there, just to give my drones something to do. Get this waste rock out of the way. Ooh, another anomaly. Okay, unlock one. Nice. Let's see what techs we can get discovered for us. Okay, the meteor storm is now starting. And it's going to be... Ooh. Looks like it's in this corner. I hope it doesn't creep up here. So when meteors hit, they have a chance to leave behind these science anomalies. So usually that means we get a meteor hitting close by to this. Took it like a baller. And meteors will also give metal and sometimes polymers too. So if they're not assaulting your base, meteors are actually pretty good to have. So we'll just let this run its course. And you can see the landscape is pockmarked with these craters. If it lands on the flat ground. Yeah, sometimes they'll drop metal. I don't think this was from a meteor.
There's more to the barren environment.
Advanced Martian
planet than meets the
engines.
eye. A veritable treasure trove.
Okay. This is the less fuel. This is what I was kind of hoping for. The question is, I think I want this second after the low G drive. Because I think we're already too far along for it to affect... Yeah, see, we're already at 80. And by the time we get it discovered, this rocket will be all refueled anyways. So we don't need to worry about that. Oh, we got some more metal. So it looks like we got a bunch of metal down here, which is great. And then we got some metal deposits, which is nice. So that'll help. Let's put a metal depot right here, kind of in the middle. We'll bring this rover down here so it can get this metal. We'll take the Explorer and we'll send it back to charge. Now, if one of your rovers gets stuck out and it runs out of battery, all you need to do is just take your RC rover and go up next to it, and it'll charge. Yeah, and especially when you get the upgrade for this, so that the battery doesn't drain and increases the drone capacity. Basically, what you can do is, if you just, like, say your base is down here, like it is for me. If I discover, what? No. I have the rover selected. Shoot. No, I want you back here. Okay, I'm going to deselect that. I don't know how this got selected. So, like, if I have my base down here, right, but I discover some anomalies up here, that's going to take quite some time for my rover to get all the way there, discover those anomalies, because discovering anomalies takes up a lot of battery power. So once I get the upgrade for the RC rover, what I do is I just take the rover and follow along my Explorer. That way it acts as a mobile charging station.
Anomaly found.
Ooh, 2 anomalies. We got a breakthrough one. Where's the other one? Oh, that was from a meteor strike. Okay, so I didn't discover that, but that was from a meteor strike. So let's take our explorer, and I can just right click off this the map overview. So yeah, we'll save that for later. We'll see what this breakthrough is. That's why I love Paradox, and it's hard because you only get one rocket, and it takes 100 fuel to fill it up. But the breakthroughs can just drastically change your game. So I like that extra chance of. Okay, Gus. I like that extra chance of discovering a breakthrough that can drastically alter your game. It makes it a lot more fun and a lot more interesting because you never know what you're going to get. So let's see what we're going to discover here. About halfway. We still got water up there. We got water over here. Just trying to plan out where I would want to go next.
Breakthrough discovered.
Gene selection. Doubles the chance that a colonist will have or gain a rare trait. So, I think there's a total of 3 rare traits that a colonist can have. The first one is genius, and that gives a flat research boost as long as that colonist is in your colony. I don't know how much it is, but it's, hey, especially like if you're doing a sponsor that you're not getting a lot of research, like Paradox, that's any boost you can get is helpful. The other thing, another trait that they could do is celebrity, and it's kind of like the genius, but instead the celebrity gives you funding for as long as the colonist is in the colony. So that's good too, especially for higher difficulty sponsors because you're not making a whole lot of money early. The third one that is naturally occurring is Guru, I think, and that one's a little more finicky because if a colonist has the Guru trait, any other traits that it has, that colonist has a chance to spread to other colonists. The problem with that is if, and it works with flaws too, which is the problem. Because if you have like an idiot, lazy guru, he's going to start spreading that laziness and idiocy to other colonists. And that's something you don't want, because if you're an idiot, you have a higher chance of breaking things in your domes or where you work, requiring more maintenance. And lazy just affects your performance. I think it's a minus 40 performance. So, but if you have good traits, then Guru is definitely the best. There is a fourth rare trait, which can only be discovered by a breakthrough tech, and that is empath. And what empaths do is they affect the morale of all the colonists in the dome that they reside in. So if a colonist has an empath rare trait, he's going to gradually increase the morale of all the colonists that he's or she is living in that dome with. But there's 3 base ones, and then the 4th one can only be discovered by a breakthrough. So that's actually not a bad one there. So I think I want to do that after all these ones. The only thing I'm not sure is like how they get these traits, if they randomly show up. I know.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Ooh, nice. I know that when colonists develop flaws, it's because they start losing their sanity. And when their sanity gets low, they have a breakdown, and that's when they have a chance of developing flaws. Flaws are like your gluttons, your laziness, your hypochondriacs, your chronic conditions, stuff like that. Obviously, stuff that you don't want. But I don't know if they can gain good traits at any time, or if I'm just not sure the mechanics behind it. So I don't know if it's like they have a small chance per day to gain a trait, or per soul to gain a trait.
We've just confirmed the location of a metal-rich deposit. A drilling
Oh.
accident turned to
Okay, so we just got a metal deposit here. Ooh, 1,000, very high. So that means that extracting metal from this is going to be rather quickly, is going to happen rather quickly, as opposed to like this one, and it's got even more metal. So that's a good one. It's not useful to us now, but it can be useful to us later. So we got some good metal deposits down here. We're still working on the surface metal, so the rover's taking care of that. And then, so this meteor shower left behind some polymers here, some metals here. I think that metal was already there. And sometimes they're kind of hard to tell. Like, if you look closely, the metal is a little bit shinier than these ones. So these ones like are not resources. I tried clicking on them and I can't do it. But this one, as you can see, it's a little shinier, but it came from a meteor. So, and then like the polymers are a little blacker. So we got one there, we got one there. We got another metal deposit there, another one here. Some more polymer here. And a big deposit. That was there before the meteor storm. Okay, so now our rocket is refueled. We're going to... Actually, I want to bring my rover up because I'm bringing the drones. Once this rocket leaves, all these drones that were stuck with my rocket are just going to be stuck here because they no longer have an area of control. So I want to bring my rover in, which is why we kept things kind of compact, because I want the rover's area to kind of have an effect, to affect all the drones here. And
Sector scanned.
some more concrete. So we should be concrete. We should be fine with concrete. It shouldn't be a problem for us during this game. Okay, so now the rover's there. Let's go ahead and take off.
Milestone achieved.
So we got a milestone, launched a rocket from Mars. Now we have 6 drones without a controller. If I open that, this rover will take in 8 total, meaning I think we still have like 3. How many total drones? I think I have 10 total drones. So we got 2 that are without a controller, which is fine for now. I mean, not a whole lot's going on, and so as you can see, as I move my rover, you see these little drone markings pop up. So that means that no drone there's no control range, and then so now I stop, and so now those markings go away. So now drones can move back and forth. So what are we gonna do with our rocket once it gets to Earth? I think we want to bring in... Did we lose an electronic? That would suck if we did. Was it the storm? I hope not. Because what? Because I don't think electronics is not used for maintenance of any of the things I have. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do wind turbines, is because we already have enough maintenance items that require machine parts. I don't want to use those up. So hence why I stick with solar panels. Plus you can make it work, at least for now, with what we got here. Maybe I want to add...
Research complete.
So low G drive, great. So we got the 25% boost. So I think in the rocket that we're going to send back, we want to send back a prefab drone hub. I don't know what else. We'll have to take a look. I think we add 4 more solar panels. Oh shoot, I don't want to do that. Let's do 1. Yeah, there we go. That's yeah. We'll do 8, and then we'll bring this around. There. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is your extractors. They kick up dust in a radius around the building. So you want to be careful with your placement of the extractors as well as the placement of things around your extractors. The rockets will also kick up dust in a larger radius. I think
Sector scan.
the concrete extractor is, or extractors like that, it has like a 5 hex radius. So if I put like solar panels like right next to this, they would constantly get dust on them and need higher maintenance. So let's put this on the power line there. So I want to kind of keep them away from, and that's why we kind of have the rocket launch down here. Just kind of keep it away from all our other buildings. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. All right, we're still scanning. We still got some small pockets of metals and polymers left to pick up still on the ground. It's like, there's 100, 150-ish metals on the ground still so far, so that's not bad. Once we get that second rocket down. Okay, so the second rocket went back to Earth. So now we're not quite ready for passengers yet. So we'll want another cargo rocket. We'll want a drone hub. I don't know if we want to bring electronics factory and a machine parts factory down just yet. But we do want a drone hub. So that way, once the rocket leaves Mars, we don't have to keep bringing our rover back to get work done. We just plop the drone hub and that takes care of that. I think we want to transport. And I'm going to try something different. I'm going to do another Explorer because we have the technology that increases our research gained from Explorers by 100. But the more Explorers I have, there's going to be a collaboration loss. So instead of 100 from that second Explorer, it's only going to give me 80. But still, 180, that's a pretty good amount. Anything after that, I think, is overkill. And so I'm not going to do that. But I want some more electronics. And I'm going to have some more machine parts. And I think I'm going to get some polymers just in case. Kind of tempted to get more drones, but we don't need them just yet. And we don't need orbital probes. Yeah, no, I think this is good because our next rocket might be our passenger rocket, and you don't need any funding to bring passengers to Mars. So I think that's good. We're going to launch. And yeah, so that extra Explorer should help. And I don't think we have anything, because that should get researched by the time. Maybe we want to use them up for the space rehabilitation, or even because the gene selection doesn't really count or doesn't happen until I actually have colonists, and we're still kind of a ways off from that. But the transport should help because then I can just set it to grabbing these big patches of surface metals and stuff. There's a little metal right there. And then bringing them back to my main hub. So here's the Explorer. Let's bring it back in charge. Kind of hoping to get more anomalies over here. And then maybe I start going up this way. And then there's a tech that we can discover later. Ooh, nice. Another anomaly. Oh, that's from a meteor strike. Because it's in a sector I haven't scanned yet. I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something. Oh, later on, there's a tech that you can discover that allows you to deep scan, so you'll get your underground deposits. Because right now, and the underground deposits are usually more lucrative and have more resources than the regular underground. So when that happens, these squares will fill back in, letting me know that they need to be scanned again. But deep scanning doesn't take as long as regular scanning, so just something to keep in mind later on. And then this is also a mod too that shows the progress on my research, so I don't have to keep checking in, so. But once we get that rocket here, it's 83% of the way here. Yeah, more water, another light water deposit. More surface metal, so that's good. But yeah, so once we get that second explorer down, we'll have an almost 400% increase in research. Or, yeah. Well, 380. Because I think the collaboration loss is 80. So we can double check right now once it lands. I love this animation. This is so cool. Look at that. Turn around. Nice. If you just want to reorient the camera, just go back out and then go back in. And okay, so we got our transport. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get all this metal down here. I'm going to set a transport route. I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to click metals because I want it doing metals, and I'm going to bring it back here. So I'm going to click on the power line because I want it charging before dropping off its metals and then going back out. So let's see. So yes, see, here's our daily research, and here's the collaboration loss. So instead of 200, I'm only getting 380. See? Yeah. Which is fine. But that little boost should help. Where's my rover? So I want to transfer. Oh, I have the prefabs. So I'm going to put my drone hub about right here because I want the area of effect covering the dome and the rare metals deposits. So I'm going to put it right there, and it needs to be connected with power. So the prefabs, they build super quickly. And see a whole bunch of drones just shot out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rover. Now this is one of, not the main problems with this game, but one of the little annoyances is in order to shift drones from like a rover to a drone hub, you have to click on each one and right click on where you want it to go. So I have to keep selecting drones. Let's keep 3 with the rover. Like there's no click and drag to mass select units. And the Paradox guys had a Q&A on Twitch earlier today. If you didn't have a chance to watch that, I suggest you go back and look at that if you're interested in it. And they had some good stuff, but they did announce like kind of a roadmap of what they were planning on doing. And I think they said the first patch that they're going to release is going to come out in like a month or so, a month and a half. And it's going to have some various some fixes and some improvements. So it'll be interesting to see what that is all about. Because as much as I love this game, as good as it is, there are some things that are infuriating and should be fixed, relatively quickly. But it's later on, and it's not like a minor part of the game, and there's ways to like work around it, but it just gives you a headache to deal with it. So yeah. So let's take a rover. Let's continue scooping up these metals here. So we have our transport to give our transport something to do. Our transport's busy loading. And there's So let's go over here. Now, a little trick is to click your trade route, and then if you see like a small cluster of resources in a small area, you can click in the middle, and then it gives you an option of all. So what I do is all. So it's a small area. I don't know what the radius is, maybe like 3 or 4, but it will take all of the materials or whatever material you selected in that. It'll automatically harvest it in that small area, and then we'll bring it back here. So now this transport should pick up all this metal, and it should pick up these 2 polymers here. It probably will not do this deposit here, and I don't know if there's another deposit nearby. But see, yeah, so it's going to pick up these polymers, and then it should go to this metal deposit and start picking up metals. Yep. So that's a little way to ease the micromanagement aspect. So let's take one of our explorers and start exploring. We'll explore that one with one, and then this one with the other. So our mystery that goes with us through the game has a chance of spawning from these types of anomalies, the eye ones. Now, I don't know when those get triggered, because usually I've had mine trigger around like anywhere from soul 80 to like soul 150.
Sector scanned.
So I don't know if there's like a prerequisite you have to hit in order for the mystery to trigger. And if there is, I don't know what that is, obviously, but something to keep in mind. But these, you either have a chance to like discover rare deposits, or it gives you a boost to a specific science branch, or just generally good stuff. I love the anomaly mechanic.
It was a vein rich with ore. The data
So here we go.
turned incorrect. Under those fine red sands lay the intact hull of a rover.
We immediately recognized it. Curiosity. So the Curiosity rover. I was listening to a podcast from a little ways back. I don't know if Curiosity is a rover already there, or if it's a rover that NASA is planning on sending soon. But yeah, so obviously this game takes place in the future. Duh. So I can send Curiosity back to Earth for 500 million funding, or I can display it as a monument in the colony and I get a social research boost of 10%. That to me is more valuable than this 500. Even though we're going to be strapped for cash, like we should be able to produce, we should have enough to be able to get to the point where we should produce what we need. But the research boost, again, like we're so strapped for resources or research that any boost is
Anomaly
wonderful.
analyzed.
There's more
So we got-
to the barren environs of the red planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder.
Okay, so
As
here's
long as you know where to look.
so here's the apartments. So we got the drone hub, we got the apartments, we got the upgrade for evaporators, which should be good. Low G turbines, again, like I don't really use wind turbines, so this isn't going to be helpful at all. But we do have crowdfunding, so it gives me a one-time grant of $1 billion. So we're definitely going to do this at some point. Again, like we're going to be strapped for cash, but this is a good way to tide us over until we absolutely need it. So I think I want to do the transport, since we do have a transport now. No, I want to do the high rise, because our first couple domes are going to be focused on cramming as much people in there as possible while still running as many factories and stuff as we can. So let's bring these back and charge them. And then this guy still getting some. Actually, let's, because you're not full. No, you are full. So let's unload you over here. Shoot. Unload all. Yeah, and we still got these anomalies here for the research boost. So, but I don't think there's really anything here that we absolutely need it for. Again, like I'm trying to save it for a breakthrough or like a must-have research that we should get soon. And yeah, so we're gonna finish researching the advanced Martian engines here shortly. So instead of 100 fuel, it's gonna go down to 80, which should help a bunch. We got a malfunctioning cable that's gonna get fixed. So any moment, you'll see it go down to 80. Whenever you're ready, game. You know. Wait a second.
Research complete.
Okay. So yeah. Look, now it's 80. So great. We have to wait less time for these rockets to get refueled, which is great. All right. So hey, yeah, we got stuff getting set up. We got our drone hub here, so now we don't have to worry about leaving the rocket. In fact, this happens automatically, but I'll just manually assign these drones too. So when this rocket takes off, I don't have to worry about keeping a rover here for these drones to work. Speaking of which, where's my rover? Okay, so I didn't. Shoot, I should have done that. Bonehead. Yeah, so we got a nice start going. We're still trucking along. Our research is huge to help us get stuff started. I think our next rocket, we may want to get this dome set up so we can start exporting rare metals. I think our next rocket might be our colonist rocket, but we'll see. Maybe one more resupply, and then a colonist. Although I don't think we have. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of funding left. So our next rocket will have to be our passenger rocket. So I think that's a good place to stop here. Yeah, we got things going. We're good on concrete. We're good on metals. We're trying to strip mine the surface of Mars here for metals. We're good on all of our rare advanced resources. So that should tide us over till we get our production facilities going. So I think we're in a good spot here. Again, things are kind of slow going, and it's tough because if you watch the preview or the pre-release versions of the game that Paradox sent out to various YouTubers and streamers, you'll notice that the games go a lot quicker for them than it does here in the release version. At least that's kind of what I can tell. So something to keep in mind. But Paradox, having the Paradox sponsor and the Futurist commander profile isn't helping things either. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. If you like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If not, I'll try to do better next time. But until then, same dad time, same dad channel. See you later.